Greetings everyone, I am Dr. Wolf and I just watched the Summer Sun Setback. Holy cow, talk about knocking it out of the park. This was a fantastic watch. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. The villains were entertaining and cunning. Twilight and the rest of the main six were actually showing real character growth. Discord is being a part of everything and doesn't feel ham-fisted in the slightest, and it's actually giving a really touching send-off for the Royal Sisters. It's just, wow! I can't believe they were able to cram so much into a 22-minute episode and still make it feel so satisfying. But let's start from the beginning here. First off, Grogar has given up on looking for his bell, even though he knows where it is. Okay, once again, I have to think he knows that the other villains are trying to betray him. He has to know this. Honestly, the reason he keeps coming up with excuses to go off and do his own thing and let the other three try to come up with their own cunning backstab behind the scenes, Grogar has to know what's really going on here. I have a hard time believing that he would have never suspected that these other villains would try to betray him. I mean, Grogar doesn't trust them, and like T-Rex says, he doesn't trust Grogar. None of the others do. So, yeah, I have to believe that Grogar has something much, much bigger in place here, and he just needs these other three to be working together. And yeah, they are very well working together. When they arrive at Canterlot and realize the extra security in place, I was feeling, well, that's fantastic. What they set up in Twilight 7 has real plot relevance many episodes later. I enjoy that kind of building up for a major story later on. And the fact that they were able to use the Summer Sun celebration as a way of distracting everyone, breaking down everything. And yeah, I like seeing the villains being so cunning and working everything into their plan without anyone noticing. The fact that T-Rex was able to drain ponies of their magic, not because he was trying to get more powerful, I'm sure that was a nice side effect, but rather convincing the ponies that they were getting food poisoning. That's brilliant. Getting Cozy Glow to take over on planning because this other Pegasus is so overwhelmed with panic, and yeah, it fits her character rather nicely. And then Chrysalis getting a troop of unicorns to go on strike because they are capable of so much more. Oh, this is some brilliant writing, while at the same time focusing how Twilight is taking on the role of ruling Equestria and even settling down her Twilighting, so to speak. Everyone else is expecting her to panic, and with very good reason. How many times in this series has she just gone off the handle because of anything that goes wrong? Like Discord says, this is some real character growth. And it's funny because he's so disappointed in that. I love the idea that they're including Discord, expecting Twilight to fail, and even pulling out the binoculars, wanting to witness this wonderful, chaotic moment. And then having it turn out to be, aw, our little Twilight is growing up. She's really progressing. She is putting aside all of her worries and understanding that panicking isn't going to help anything. The mark of a true leader, as Celestia puts it. Bravo! I like that! And then let's set up the idea that as Cozy Glow and Chrysalis were discussing at the very end, it was so easy to get all of the pony races to start turning on each other. And yeah, that builds up to something even more intriguing down the line. The idea that these villains could undermine what the Royal Sisters and even Twilight have built up over who knows how many centuries. It's a great way for Twilight to have her greatest challenge yet. not only in facing off against the villains, but likely seeing the rest of the pony races are no longer interested in working with each other. I mean, it's calling back to the very first Hearth's-Warming Eve. To think that they had set that up in Season 2 and are now, hey, let's build on it even more by producing the same results in the modern day. Wouldn't that bring back the Wendigos? Wouldn't that bring back all these different conflicts in the moment when the trio of villains and even Grogar are trying to take over? It's brilliant. It really wants me to see what comes next. And then even the comedy is on point here. Applejack trying to drag Pinkie Pie away from taste testing, only to have everybody supposedly falling down from food poisoning and Pinkie Pie beating herself up over it. And Rarity trying to calm the other unicorns by focusing, oh, it's not about frills, darling. There's so much more in season here. And Spike saying, that's not the point right now, Rarity. I love all the little scenes they managed to cram in here, and not a single one feels forced at all. It feels like a natural progression of the story while focusing on this grand plan of the villains, while focusing on Twilight really progressing as a character, and even Discord and the Royal Sisters realizing she's growing up. She's becoming a true leader. And Discord himself has to admit, hey, I really want to see what happens next. It's a great way to keep building towards the end of the series. And I am so grateful that the writers are putting in this kind of effort. It's giving us a proper send-off to the characters we've grown to love over the many years. It's so hard for me to think of anything this episode really did wrong. And really, the only thing I can think of, the only thing, and yeah, this is quite the nitpick, is the fact that last week's episode, A Trivial Pursuit, is showing Twilight really letting go of all of her control and going back to her Lesson Zero roots. I don't think it has any problem with the Summer Sun Setback. That episode really didn't do anything wrong. It's just, you really shouldn't have put this episode next to that one. It's a little jarring, but either one on their own, they're still pretty darn good. In fact, as I said before, the Summer Sun Setback just knocks it out of the park with how good it is. I already want to watch it again, see if there's any little tidbits I might have missed in the background. This is just a fantastic episode. Whew. When you put aside all the excitement from watching a story like this and realizing it's building up towards a proper conclusion to the series, it really makes you step back and reminisce about how much these characters have accomplished over the years. Twilight in particular. She has very slowly but surely taken steps towards this role, taking over for the Royal Sisters, and seeing her use that amulet during the raising of the sun, it's a heartwarming moment to see how far she's come. I mean, it's kind of like the end of season 3 when she became an alicorn and she was looking forward to a bright future. It's capturing that same level of emotion and warmth. And yeah, I have to applaud the writers, the animators, the voice actresses, everyone who has made this possible. It's just been a wonderful ride for all of us to take part in. Not every episode in MLP Season 9 has been absolutely perfect, but this one, the Summer Sun Setback, thus far, feels like the closest to hitting that mark. I probably had more fun with an episode like Frenemies. There was certainly more fan pandering in an episode like Twilight 7, but the Summer Sun Setback feels like a much more complete whole. It feels that much closer to a fantastic watch. And I hope each of you agree. But in the meantime, I would like to hear your thoughts on this story. Given the villain's progression and exactly how Krogar's been treating them, what exactly lies ahead in each of their plans? And What do you think about Twilight's personal journey over the years, culminating in a moment like this? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because, as always, I am Dr. Wolf, and I am very much looking forward to the end of the series.